fine. The question is, who let them in? Who's the gatekeeper? Who lets these products in?
No, the question is, what would you do?
What would I do?
Right.
When we fought years ago to stop this, we didn't have enough people. It's up to us to organize and form committees for the EPA. What is the purpose of the EPA and the IPA? They get paid to do what they want us to do, to stop this. The Environmental Protection Agency is not doing their job. The Illinois Environmental Agency is not doing their job. They are supposed to monitor, and the gases that are released are toxic. They are dangerous gases. But we, as a community, haven't held them accountable. We haven't got together. We're divided as a community. I would organize Jeffrey Manor, have a committee, have a group. Not only Jeffrey Manor, this is the east side.
We care about everybody.
We care about everybody. But we don't have one group going to that company. Again, boycott.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What I would do is, there are currently ordinances in place that would fine this company for emitting these toxic smells. As your alderman, I would fine them and fine them and fine them. I would make sure that they put the filters that are supposed to be in place. And as your alderman, what I would do differently is I would not take money from polluters in our neighborhood that people don't want. I would not take money from those polluters.
So to answer the question, first and foremost, I would not take political campaign contributions of dollars from companies like AgriFine as well.
Thank you.
I would also, I'm not done, I would also restore the Department of Environment, which this alderman voted to close. I would also bring AgriFine and officials to the table to meet with us as a community, to let them know how they're not good corporate citizens, they're not good neighbors. It's my job as the alderman of this ward to hold them responsible, to hold them accountable, and I will do that.
Thank you. We're getting really tight. You're shutting your own people down. Would you take your time, please? Hold your applause.
Okay, so AgriFine is the smell that you guys are smelling, and it is from the release of gases into the air. It's terrible. I've driven through, I take the Skyway to work oftentimes, and coming through, especially in the summer, it's horrendous. And I don't think that it's fair for the community to have to live in that constant smell. I think that there are filters that can be placed on those, there's filters that they can put on to inhibit those gases and those smells that the residents are actually living in. And I have said before, and I'll say it again, you put fines on these companies, you get them in the pocketbooks. They're huge companies, and it doesn't take a little fine to get them out. You just nail them over and over and over again. You tell them, I mean business, this is enough, we're not living like this anymore. It's not fair to the community, it's not fair to the residents, it's lowering your property values. People don't want to live here if they have to live in that state of unhealthiness, okay? I would also work with other boards, because it's not just in 10, it's other surrounding areas too, and work with those aldermen to get everybody together and on the same page to fight it, and then you have a larger base going against that company. Thank you.
Do you want an explanation?
Well, I have to have you still give me a minute and a half, but I will allow you to tell what you said.
Okay. So this is an issue that I've been championing in our community. I live right over to the track, so that smell comes over to where I live as well. And what we've learned, just by scratching the surface a little bit and digging into this company, that what you smell is they make fertilizer and feed, and they're using animal parts also to do this. And in order to throw away this waste product, they have to cook it down. So what we're smelling, it is actually these dead animals that we're smelling in decomposing bodies, and that's what it is. But what we don't smell is the sulfuric acid that has been spewing from this company. We have the highest cancer rates, the highest asthma rates in any part of the city. And to allow a company, I'm not even talking about holding them accountable, I'm talking about imposing our will and getting them out. I will not accept donations from companies like KCBX, Coke Industries, AgriFine, who are polluting our community. So I think that's really important to know what it is exactly.
problem. Everyone needs to know that the technology is out there to suppress this. By putting, like Sam said, there's filters that you can put on it to suppress it. And actually, you can actually convert that to a renewable energy source. It's actually to the benefit to actually do this. It's very costly, but like I said earlier, there's credits for almost everything. And at the federal level, there are tax credits available that will help this company subsidize the cost of actually implementing these filters where you can convert it to an energy source. I think that this company needs to feel as proud of the Jeffrey Manor area as the residents that live here.
Thank you. Okay. Lakeside Development is expected to offer 139,000 plus jobs over the next 30 years. Meanwhile, South Chicago has 17% unemployment, 30% of the people living in poverty, and a high number of formerly incarcerated youth and adults. Mariano's is expected to open next year. The question for you is, what are your plans to connect both students and residents from the surrounding communities and neighborhoods to economic opportunities at Lakeside Development? I'm going to start with Juan.
So the Lakeside Development project is something that's been coming here, been in plans for a very long time. It's coming, but there was a meeting at the Pilgrim Baptist Church not long ago. People in the community, they realize that it's coming, but they don't want to be part of gentrification. So they don't want to be, pushed up. They want to be a part of it. So that's why they met, and what they're proposing is a community benefits agreement, which you guys can, if you have time to Google it, community benefits agreement for Lakeside Development. And pretty much in a nutshell, what it's asking is, they're asking developers saying that we want to be a part of this project. You don't want to be pushed out. You want to be a part of not only building it, but also living it for years to come.
Yeah, on the issue of Lakeside Development, it's very clear to me that this is something that they're planning to do for the next 30, 40 years from now. I'll be 66 when that thing is done. All right, that's not acceptable. We need to redevelop our community right now. The city of Chicago is holding out to over 100 lots in our South Chicago right now. We can put our families to work right now.
So are you saying you have no plans
I'm saying,
for the Lakeside Development?
I'm saying that we can't wait until 30, 40 years, that we need to address those issues right now and train our families right now.
So we need to know though if you have any plans for the Lakeside Development.
First of all, I don't think that supporting building a community for luxury and opulent community next to one that's systematically being choked out is the answer. So
Okay.
I don't support Lakeside Development. If the
Okay.
city wants to redevelop, they need to start with people who actually live here now.
Thank you.
And I would not
In essence, I believe the Lakeside Development Project was started, I don't feel like it was planned out very well. I don't trust the Cafferty. I don't like the way that they're putting this all together and leaving the community out of the decisions. I know that people need jobs, and I know that we need to bring jobs into the community, and by building, 30, 40 years, like Olga said, by building and bringing these businesses in, it would provide jobs, but it's too much of a time span. So by bringing in businesses now, by enticing
So you're
businesses
saying
back,
you don't have a plan for Lakeside either at this point?
I'm sorry. Look, I mean,
That's
as
the
far as
question.
the plan for Lakeside Development, I'm not going to have, that
As
plan's
the
already in
alderman,
place.
as the alderman,
Yeah.
what plan do you have to connect the residents
Well,
to the Lakeside Development so that we can get those jobs? We know some of you are against it, but we want to know if it takes place, what plan do you have to get us some of those jobs?
well, okay, so kind of pushing me into having to agree with it there, but the
No,
problem
you can
is,
say no.
well, no, you don't want to say no because you want to give jobs to the residents. So in order to get those residents and get our people in there working, you have to work with this company to have them hire residents, but they've all got their own teams. They've all got their own unions, they've all got their own crews, and those jobs are going to go to their people.
Thank you.
So,
Rich, what plan do you have?
Okay, so my plan for USX, the reason why they have struggled to develop what they want to develop is because they have no economic anchor. So my vision is to bring a university and hospital complex to be the economic anchor of the Lakeside redevelopment, including a trauma center. We need a trauma center out here on the south side. So why can't we put the trauma center on Lakeside? But in order to ensure that the community residents benefit from whatever happens there, there has to be an enforceable community benefits agreement, which should have been negotiated on the front end by the alderman, not after the fact.
Thank you. We're holding our applause to the end, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I believe that to define success in that development ensures that we have local hiring policies intact, fair wages and employment training programs, affordable housing that is attainable to families' incomes in the current surrounding community, and training and support of technology initiatives in the community, environmental safeguards, amenities, and transportation plans that protect human safety and local wildlife, and also creation of a community center for education and betterment of local residents, and a creation of a community benefit agreements that is in compliance throughout the whole project to ensure that the people, the constituents in that ward get those jobs.
Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've been attending some meetings for the CBA and the Lakeside. We haven't had no town hall meetings. The alderman has not invited us. Sandy Jackson called.
What is your plan?
My plan is to bring the jobs. How do we hold these developers accountable for the promises they're making them?
Well, that's me wondering, what would you do?
I would hold their feet to the fire. We have to have the community come in together, and we put them to the test.
Okay,
That's my alternative.
thank you.
We've had countless meetings at various locations. We constantly have tours. We have, they have a website up. This is a process that's been very open and inclusive. As part of the community planning process, we've actually changed plans to relocate Lakeshore Drive. We've made the cross streets come into the site so that it wouldn't bisect the neighborhood from the new development. Any new housing that goes on there will include at least 20% affordable housing. We've already earmarked a portion of the property for a new high school, knowing that someday there will be a high school there. Mariano's is the first anchor that is necessary to attract other development. And we will be having additional outreach sessions with the community to get the community employed there. I am in total support of a CBA, and we're working on a community advisory group, a Lakeside advisory group, where those people would be involved with more than the CBA, but the various aspects of the development. Some of the people in the room here are part of that advisory group, or will be invited to participate.
That's the second part of our question, so I'm going to give you the thing. The Coalition for a Lakeside CBA has drafted a proposed CBA, which is a community benefits agreement, a written agreement with the developer to ensure current local benefits from the development, okay? Do you support the Coalition's proposed CBA that prioritizes local residents for jobs, provides job training and educational support for local schools, offers affordable housing, supports tax relief for the local residents, and provides environmental protections? Do you support that?
Yes, and additional items like the transportation that is so necessary to that development. I support a CBA. There's several that are out there. We're trying to get the best CBA that will be applicable to this site. And again, the advisory group will help to develop that and other programs that will address a wide variety of topics that are inclusive of that long-term project.
Frank?
Yes, as your alderman, we will have a committee, and yes, I am for the CPA. We've been going to the meetings, but we can't do anything without the participation of the community. We have to take our community back. We have to get involved. There's no transparency. We haven't been invited to the table. We don't know the map. We don't know their plans. There's a lot of things being done, and we're not included. Yes, I do support the CPA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I do support the CBA. There's been numerous meetings, as our current alderman has said. Unfortunately, the developer and the alderman have not been in part of those meetings. The committee that has been putting the CBA together were told by the developer that they were not reflective of the community, which is pushing us out. And yes, we do need a community benefits agreement to ensure that all residents of the 10th Ward are part of this process.